Sheri Winston, here at the Center for the Intimate Arts with the Juicy Bits blog. Today I want to talk to you about alternatives to commercial menstrual products. So yes, this one is definitely for women. And before I talk to you about what you might want to do instead, I want to talk about why you might want to use something other than commercial menstrual products. And there's a couple of answers, but from the big picture, it's about ecology, both the ecology of the planet and the ecology of your vagina. So commercial menstrual products are called disposable, but of course they don't really get disposed of. They just go in a landfill. So every time you're using one of those products, you are creating more garbage in a world that already has way too much garbage. The other is more about your internal ecology. And the thing is that commercial menstrual products are made with bleached, and the bleach, when a product is bleached, in order to get it white like that, when they do that process, they actually leave chemical residues that are dioxins. Those are known cancer-causing chemicals. So both commercial menstrual pads and especially tampons do have traces of known carcinogens in them. And you really want that either up against your most tender bits or even more significantly inside your vagina. I don't really think that's a great idea. The other thing is that those products have what are called superabsorbent fibers, and nobody actually knows what superabsorbent fibers are. They don't really have to tell us, but I don't think they're good for us. Tampons in particular, I can tell you that when I was a practitioner, when a woman would remove a tampon just before I did an exam, you would see all these little tiny bits of fibers inside her vagina. And I think that they're irritating, and I don't think they're good for us. So I think if you are going to use tampons, at a minimum, go to a health food store, get the organic cotton ones that don't have any of that other stuff in them. But if you want to do something even better, I've got a couple of alternatives for you. So the first one is my actual favorite, and these are sea sponges. I know it's a little tiny sponge, and these are silk sea sponges. You can buy them in a couple different places. In health food stores, big ones, you'll often find them with the alternative menstrual products. They tend to be a bit pricey there, but that's a fine place to buy them. You can also buy these in craft stores that cater to people who do ceramics, because people who throw pots on wheels actually use these little sponges. And there you can often get a big bag of like 10 of them for really cheap. But wherever you get them, they're these little natural sea sponges, and what you do with them is when you throw it in a little bag, keep it in your purse or wherever you are, so you always have one when you need one. And when you need it, you take it out and you run it under water, and then you wring it out. Just the same way if you were going to use a sponge to wipe your counter, you wouldn't use a dry sponge. First you would wet it, then you would wring it out, then you would use it to wipe the counter. So run the sponge underwater and then wring it out really good. You can even squeeze it in a paper towel or a cotton napkin or some tissue paper to get it as much of the water out as possible. And then you insert the sponge. And you want to insert it in about the same place you'd put a tampon. So you want to push it in nice and snug. And then the next time you go pee or you need to go to the bathroom, you take it out and it will be filled with blood. And I personally think blood is really cool and gorgeous, and it's kind of neat to see. And then you rinse it out and you squeeze it and you rinse it out, and you can check out what your blood looks like. And then after you rinse it out, you bring it out again and you put it back in. The great thing about the sponge is it will last you 3 to 6 cycles. You can get bigger ones if you have a heavier flow. You can get really big ones and cut them so you have exactly the size and shape you need. When you're done with it, after about 3 to 6 months, it starts getting a little ratty. You can throw it in your compost heap. So you have a completely natural, reusable product. I mean, they're super cheap, really, since one sponge lasts so long. And I just think they're one of the greatest things going. Now, of course, you do have to be comfortable putting your fingers in your vagina. You have to be comfortable with your blood. I think it's a good thing to get comfortable with. So a favorite of mine, sea sponges. I want to show you a couple other alternatives. If you want something internal but you don't want to use the sponge, there are a couple different kinds of products out there that are menstrual caps. This one is called the Keeper. There's another one called the Diva Cup. This one's made of latex, that one's made of silicone, and they're little plastic cups. And what you do with the cup is you squeeze it, you insert it in the vagina. It sits in the vagina, and when it's full, you can grab the little handle and take the cup out. You pour your blood into the toilet or wherever you want to pour it. You rinse the cup, and then you put it back in. And this is a method that's wonderfully economical because a cup will last you for many, many years. So they're made of latex, they're made of silicone, they're a wonderful product. And again, you get an opportunity to interact with your blood, which I encourage you to do because, hey, it's yours, it's your body, it's your blood. And of course, many cultures, that blood was considered sacred, not profane and disgusting like it is in our culture. So cups, menstrual cups are another great alternative. And finally, if you want to use pads, there's so many wonderful alternatives out there now of cotton pads. Now, of course, you can just make your own. You could just take some wonderful scraps of red velvet fabric and sew them together, and you put them in your panties. You can make whatever size you need. There are also wonderful commercial ones available. These are organic cotton. This is a set that comes with different sizes. As you see, when you unfold them, there can be some that are large. They're thicker in the middle. You fold them like that. You put them in your panties. And then when they're bloody, you throw them in the laundry and use them again and again. And they come in different sizes for different flows or different days of your cycle. There's some other kinds now that also have little snaps. This is a Luna pad, and this is a wonderful, nice, soft cotton, and you can actually just snap that around your panties so it stays in place. Again, you just throw it in the laundry when you need to. This is another company called Glad Rags. They have a similar product with the little snaps. This one also has an insert where you can put as many as you need, 1 or 2 inserts in for your heavier days. And again, you throw it in the laundry and you wash it. And I just do want to remind people that in our culture, we do tend to think of blood as disgusting and shameful. And one of the other things that these products gives you is a chance to shift your internal ecology in your attitude towards your blood. In traditional cultures, that blood was often sacred. It was used, it might be collected and used to water plants. Women would go and bleed on the earth. So there's lots of ways you can actually start to relate to your blood as something other than gross, but as something that's either normal and natural, or even, if you choose, sacred. So here are 3 wonderful alternative products: menstrual sponges, menstrual cups, and cotton pads. So ditch the single use, I don't really call it disposable because it never really goes away, commercial products that are full of chemicals and weird super absorbent fibers, are expensive and aren't really good for the ecology of your body or of the earth. So this is Sheri Winston. I'm going to get off my soapbox now about menstrual products, but I hope that you'll try some of these alternatives. It's a really great way to start shifting your ecology. This is the Juicy Bits blog here at the Center for the Intimate Arts, and have some very juicy blessings.